Friends, I know it's been a while since we got a great new Lord of the Rings strategy game, and I'm clamoring for a Total War game set in the Lord of the Rings universe just as much as you are. But that doesn't mean we can't have some fun in Middle-earth now, and in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly which Lord of the Rings strategy games you ought to be playing today, giving you a little bit of the old, and surprisingly, an equal portion of the new. And if that sounds good to you, I really hope you leave a like and a comment down below, as it would really help me out. If you'd also consider subscribing to the channel and perhaps even support me on Patreon, I'd be eternally grateful. And now, the best Lord of the Rings strategy experiences you can possibly play right now, and one you need to look out for in the coming future. First up on this list is the one and only, the classic, the masterpiece, Battle for Middle-earth. There was no way this gem wouldn't be on this list. In fact, it should be on every list ever of the games you ought to play. The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth is a fully licensed game set in the Third Age and the War of the Ring. As a matter of fact, the game closely follows the journey of Frodo and the Fellowship, paying dues to the movies and closely resembles them to the fullest extent. It's a real-time strategy game where we get to personally assume the role of the party members, fight through countless numbers of goblins, orcs, and all manners of evil in this world. I think the best part of this game is how the dedication of its developers really shine through the gameplay, the UI, the music of choice, and the pacing of the game itself. From the early beginnings of the Mines of Moria to the battles of Helm's Deep, Minas Tirith, and finally to the Black Gates, Battle for Middle-earth takes us on the Lord of the Rings journey we always wanted to go on. It had some great new takes on the RTS genre, having you build your base in a specific location tied into a command center, and I for one actually prefer that over the more free-flowing mode of the later games. And yes, there were two more games that came after this one, namely Battle for Middle-earth 2 and The Rise of the Witch King. But in my eyes, the original will always remain the best of them all, giving off the most charm, epic battles, and the novelty of actually partaking in the movies with the characters and music you know and love. Oh, and perhaps the coolest thing? There is a good and evil campaign, so if you ever want to live out your bad guy dreams and take over the world as Isengard or Mordor, that's totally possible. What I keep thinking about here though, is how complete this game felt. It was everything it needed to be, and did perfectly what it set out to do. Not only was it addicting and fun to see how far you could level up your characters, conquer outposts, and use special powers, but the fact that the game had two long playthroughs, one good and one evil, really gave it that extra sense of love. I think the people who made this game really cared about what they did, that the kids and adults who played it loved it for what it was, and how it complemented the movie so perfectly. I didn't think about this that much as a child, but right now, that's something I'll always be grateful for. Sadly, it's quite hard to come by Battle for Middle-earth these days, but if you still have the game or find some way to play, you really owe it to yourself to do so. The second experience on this list is the excellent Lord of the Rings Realms in Exile. Realms in Exile is a total conversion mod for Crusader Kings 3, meaning that there are things in this mod you'll never be able to do in any other Lord of the Rings game. First of all, just look at this beautiful rendition of Middle-earth. From the grandest scale above, to the more close-up features of Gondor, Rohan, and everywhere else, Realms in Exile goes a long way to recreate Middle-earth in the most beautiful state it's ever been in, owing to both the excellent talents at the mod team and the gorgeous visuals of CK3 itself. The visuals are one thing, but how does this game actually work? Well, most major characters you know and love from the powerful positions are available here, from Lord Denethor of Gondor, to King Theoden of Rohan, Saruman of Isengard, and countless others. Again, because this is built on CK3, there are so many things you can do here, from developing your realm, more or less following the political events of the stories themselves, and of course, the intrigue and decision-making opportunities that come with any Paradox game. A big update was recently released as well, focusing on the rarely explored southern factions, which now has received some much-needed love. We're also going to see an update for the Royal Court expansion, giving us actual courts for our leaders. Development will not end on this mod for a long time, and I highly recommend you check out Realms in Exile as soon as you can if you haven't already. Thirdly, it wouldn't be a Lord of the Rings strategy list if we didn't include the OG mod to rule them all, namely Third Age for Medieval 2 Total War. I don't think I've ever been as excited for a Total War mod as I've been for Third Age, and most likely never will be again, unless something drastic happens. Because Third Age really has it all. The map we know and love on a grand scale, the army models, buildings, the entire UI for that matter, and of course, the beautifully renditioned units looking like they came straight out of the films, and even custom cities, always making it feel like you were actually playing a real, licensed Total War Lord of the Rings game. This mod was so massive I couldn't believe it, and I honestly don't think I need to say much for when it comes to Third Age. It makes Total War with Lord of the Rings two of my favorite things, and did it with such beauty and passion. It took years of labor, but delivered something we can still enjoy to this day, And there's even a submod called Third Age Divide and Conquer, which is supposed to deliver an even harder and more immersive experience than the original Third Age. So depending on the experience you want here, you can't really go wrong. It's Medieval 2 and Lord of the Rings, and that's all I need to say in the end. For our fourth game experience, we have a bit of a different one now, and it's Rise of Mordor for Total War Attila. And I say it's different because even though it's another Total War mod, it is for now only a battle map due to the modding restrictions for modern Total War engines. A campaign is slowly being worked on though, but like I said, for now, it's only a battle map mod. But what's here is extremely awesome. We essentially get to play as the factions we love from the Lord of the Rings universe in better graphics and scale than ever before. Just look at how detailed these units look and how it all comes together with custom-made battle maps. The reason why I think this mod is so great in particular is because the Attila engine, despite performance issues, is the most advanced historical moddable Total War out there, and has become something of a modding haven for modders. If and or when they manage to implement a campaign map, this mod will become exponentially more appealing than it is right now. But if you really love Total War battles and want them in a Lord of the Rings setting, then this is the mod for you. There are countless videos out there of people loving this mod for what it is, so make sure you check out the likes of the Magi of Fium and Pope John Paul for more. One of the most anticipated modding projects ever for me personally might just be this upcoming title, and I am of course referring to Battle for Middle-earth Reforged. This is a project that aims to bring new life to the original Battle for Middle-earth game by, among other things, adding a completely new graphics engine, new models, ability to use high refresh rates as opposed to the 30 FPS cap of the original game, a new campaign map, buildings, and so much more. This fan-made game is coming along nicely, and it's been in production for a long time, but hopefully we'll see a beta in the coming months. I really can't exaggerate how excited I am for this fan-made game, and all my best goes to the team members over at Reforged. Lastly, I just wanted to give a little heads up for one of the most exciting upcoming Lord of the Rings mods of the recent decade, namely the mod Kingdoms of Arda for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Still very much a work in progress, Kingdoms of Arda teases a full Lord of the Rings experience with everything Bannerlord has to offer, meaning a massive world, combining a campaign map with battle maps and personal decisions and army commanding. This mod is probably still a fair ways off, but what we've seen so far looks amazing, and I can't wait to follow this mod's journey. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Those were the absolute best Lord of the Rings strategy games and mods you can play right now and in the future. I'd really love it if we got a fully licensed game with the quality of those old Battle for Middle-earth games, but with updated visuals and mechanics. Hopefully one day though. Let me know your thoughts on these Lord of the Rings games, and if you enjoyed the video, I really hope you leave a like, a comment, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. It would really go a long way in helping me making more videos just like this one, and others. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.